You can see that okay. That light isn't bothering it, is it? Should be able to see that okay. I'll get the
or police assault.
I see.
Oh, what was that? What was that?
CT.
Oh, that's what we're going. Okay.
Do you remember the lawyer from the Manchester airport?
Who's in? Get a wee sound check, guys. Please, if you don't mind. Turn the heating off, so wrapped up. You're live, man. Thank you, John. What's the sound like? Tell me if you can hear this.
Police assault.
A CT scan has revealed there is a cyst on his brain.
There he is. Well, he's back today because after narrowly failing last year to become a...
Can you hear that? All right. And tell me out of 10, how good is it? John, please. Right, let's get this bit sorted out. Sound is brilliant. Happy days. Happy days. Freedom Dad. Live we did 30. Live. Chewing the fat. Two watching. Thank you very much. The two of yous. Got my chat on. Get my volume down. Volume's down. Okay. Bring that over here. Okay. So it's not great. Screen's not great. Two seconds, guys. I'm just checking this out to see what way it looks best.
MP, and before that, the Mayor of Birmingham, Ahmed Yaqub is now creating a...
Okay. It's not great, like, you know what I mean? It isn't great. It isn't great, like, but you'll get the idea. You will get the idea. Anyway, hello, everybody. What I might do, I might turn that off in the background just for now. That's there in it. You know it's coming. You know what I mean? But as long as I don't move about too much, I think the focus on that should be okay. Yeah, it's the best I can do. I don't have a laptop right now, guys, but I'm working on that one as well. Lee, Patriotic Lee, give me my missus is watching Corey for my sins. Oh, Corey, yeah, the old Corey never leaves us, does it? What was I saying there? Yeah, shit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just waiting for a few more to get in, guys, and just have a wee chat. Nothing major. I got a wee thing we're going to show you here. We'll get a wee laugh at that. You know what I mean? Just get a chat. I'm going to just check the comments and just reply to comments tonight, and just, you know, don't know if notifications have been going out. If people, did anybody get a notification? But this is just these two characters. Remember I told you last night about, I was saying the author about the guys that were starting up this like alliance thing, and it was like, you know, You can hear what they say, you know what I mean? But they're at it, like, they're at it. You can tell it's ripping out of them, you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't even know if I can put the link up. I'll tell you where it is and what it is and stuff like that, so you can watch it yourselves in full, obviously. So we'll wait till a few people get in. Anybody wants to have a chat? I've got the comments here. Geez, I can even comment myself. I can even comment on it myself. So yeah, all good, guys. Hope you're all good. Everything's good at this end. Baby's good. Baby's back round. You know, round at mother-in-law's. And I've just been painting. Place is stinking of paint, undercoat and gloss, you know what I mean? So the hall's nearly done. I've just got one more undercoat, sand and one more undercoat on the top landing, all the wood, and then gloss. So sand and undercoat again tomorrow morning. Maybe get a chance to gloss tomorrow night. I doubt it, you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. If not, then it'll be glossed on Wednesday, and it'll be full. The landing will be all the wood. All the wood in the whole landing is done. You know what I mean? Undercoated and everything treated and all the rest of it, and all primed with filler and all that, and sanded down. So it's looking good. It's looking good. And so we'll be glad to get the last coats of gloss on, guys. You know what I mean? And then because like once that's on, because like it's just a matter of painting the walls. You know what I mean? I'm just going to throwing paint up right now, guys. Like I say, place hasn't been decorated in a long time, and yeah, like wallpaper on the stairs been there for a while, but it's one of that wallpaper you can paint over. You know what I mean? So fresh like a paint, with all the new gloss. Because what you got to understand as well, guys, is Eddie's on. Let me just give Eddie a wee shout, guys. It was all wood. It was all wood, guys. That changes, don't it, when I put my head down? It must be the black hat. Does that make a difference? Yeah, it's all wood. Thought I heard tulip. Every bit of wood in this, every skirting, every windowsill is all wood stained, and so that's all gone. That's like more or less that's all gone now. It's all been undercoated and glossed white, So it's nice, it's different, you know what I mean? Mr. Mojo, I need to give Mr. Mojo a shout if you're on here, guys. Roscoe, 2 seconds, guys. Good question, Roscoe. Very good question. A lot of people ask me this question, believe it or not. A lot of my good friends ask me this question. So Roscoe's question is, hope you're well. Do you think the Fighting Irish will ever rise up, or do they save it only for the perceived British enemy? Well, the Fighting Irish sort of, that all stopped a wee while ago. And, we have to look at it. The IRA, the NLA, Republicans, we'll just call it the Republican movement, fought for many, many years against the British Army and the British state. And spent many, many years on a bombing campaign, both on the mainland in Northern Ireland. I was brought up, part of my story is the bombs that went off in my area as a young man, as a young boy, as a wee boy. Like before I was 8-year-old, I'd had my fill of bombs, because of where I lived in South Belfast, bottom of Donegal Road. It was basically, the falls was right there, and like I say, if anybody's just jumped on, so the IRA would go into the town to drop a bomb off, and there would be a roadblock on the Donegal Road. So instead of going into the town, they would just drop it in my area because they wouldn't take it back into their own area. Most of these bombs were on timers. This is back in the old days when they were using clocks, the dials, the alarm clock. And I can't go into that too much, you know what I mean? But this was back in the day, So these things were basically ticking time bombs, you know what I mean, guys? So they would be going into the town, and like I say, roadblock, dropping in my area. So yeah, we were, as a wee boy, man, I was terrified. Absolutely terrified of bombs. So yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep, the campaign at the Irish, the Republican movement had against the British is second to none. But what you got to remember, and this is what I was saying to Arthur last night, and anybody else that thinks there's going to be a fight and all that carry on, you know, the British government's been fighting these men for the last 50 years, and you know, we can see where that's got them. You know, they realise that there is no fight. The only way that the Irish are going to win anything is by the ballot box, and they know that, and that's the same for us. The only thing we're going to win anything is by the ballot box, guys. If the IRA can't defeat the British government, you know what I mean? And I know I'm talking like this, it's mental, you know, our British government, but, you know, Labour Party, you know, I think we can all agree. I think we're all in agreement that the Labour Party do not represent the British people. So therefore, I'm going to refrain from calling them the British government right now. And so to get back to your question, Roscoe, you know, basically your question is, why aren't the IRA and the Republicans doing something about what's going on with all the crime and the women being assaulted and all the rest of it? And, you know what I mean? And I think what you got to understand is you've got to look at it. You got to look at it. If you're on the ground, you've got to put yourself on the ground. So at the minute, you've got a group, let's say 35 to 40% of Irish people in this hand are totally awake. They know the damage is getting done to the country. They know what needs to be done to the country. They know what needs to be done. And, you know, they know exactly what they want and what road they're going on. Then you got the other 60% of the Irish people we're talking about here that trust in the government like we do, or like we did. You know, you got to understand the Irish people and quite a lot of the British people, you know, and us Ulstermen and Republicans in Ireland, Northern Ireland, have trusted in the government. We've had faith in our politicians. You know what I mean? We elected these people, so there was never. This is the first time in our history for any of us, Ireland, mainland, wherever, that we're finding ourselves in a situation where the government aren't actually working for the people any longer. And you know, at the end of the day, this is going to take a bit of time for everybody to get used to, you know what I mean? So, get back to your original question, you know, will the IRA, the Republican movement, make a move or do anything to try and quell what's going on in Ireland, what people are seeing, and what pretty much all the governments are trying to hide? And the simple answer to that is they won't do, and they can't do anything, because you see, the 60% Irish people that aren't awakened yet, you know, they are at that stage. I think everybody's at that stage where they're looking twice at things, and they're not exactly, you know, everybody's picking up the rumblings at work. And, you know, it used to have the one guy used to go on about the government of this and the government of that, and the world leaders are this and the world leaders are that, and conspiracy theorists that, and people would just say, oh, that's just old Jock, he's a conspiracy theorist. But now people are starting to pay attention to people, because they're starting to see snippets of information, and it's starting to tie up with what they're hearing, you see. So what the problem is with the Republican movement, I imagine, in my opinion, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's the opinions of a guy growing up in Belfast, went through Kerr, blah, 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 you know. Do not take my advice. It's just my opinion of what I see logically looking at the world. And so the 60% that just aren't there yet, but are on the right road to being along with the 40% that have awakened, because it's only the people that can make a difference anywhere in the world. It's only the people on the ground. You know, no amount of violence is ever going to win anybody anything. Okay, I think we've all learned that, and with all different conflicts all around the world, it always ends up a stalemate sort of thing. You know what I mean? So basically, if the Republican movement were to say, because I'm just going to talk the way people talk to me, why don't they attack this and why don't they attack that? So let's talk for talk's sake, just for us guys, me and you, Roscoe, having a chat here, you know what I mean, and our other followers just listening in. And basically, mate, it's like, you know, if they were to do something like that, the government would actually be quite happy, because then the 60% would then rise up and go, oh, that's terrible, you know, and there would be a whole thing, there would be a whole marketing on it, you know what I mean? The government wouldn't miss a trick, and a lot of people would turn against, you know, and not only turn against, but, you know, they would then be blinded completely to what's coming, you know, and I think anybody in the situation, like the commanders over there, are looking at this very carefully, and they're thinking to themselves, right, you know, if we do this, it's just going to make people support them even more, you know, and it's not about supporting people coming into the country and all that, because this, we all know we want people to come into the country. People that need refuge, you are welcome. You know, please come. We're here to help you. As anybody that needs help, we're here to help. But we're talking about men that are breaking into the country. We're talking about men that are traveling through 5 different countries, and we're talking about men who are criminals and are on the run or have been sent here. We're talking about a specific group of men. You know what I mean? And you know, them men would then, along with the uprising of horror and shock and utter condemnation of something happening to either, because you could guarantee something, it would be something bad, and it would, you know, like everything, you know, nothing ever turns out the way. And with the thing with Ireland, they've had years of experience, you know, they've seen whenever they've done something, and like the Oma bomb. Let's talk about the Oma bomb, Enniskillen. If you research them 2 bombs, like that done, them two bombs done the Republican movement more damage than the Loyalists did ever. You know, there's no 2 ways about it. So we'll just use that for an example. So the IRA bombed, to put 2 quite controversial bombs in Northern Ireland, one in Enniskillen and one in Oma, and there was an awful lot of civilians killed. And, you know, after that, there was a big change on public conception on the Republican side. On the Roman Catholic side, they weren't so keen on supporting an organisation or a group of men, because they were all jumping from one organisation. Oh, it was the INLA, the real IRA, the PIRA, you know, it was non-stop. And I could go on, you know what I mean? The IPLO, you know, it goes, it was just the same men jumping about, you know, and yeah, so they lost a lot of support. So that's why that the Republicans aren't doing anything. Now, if I was a betting man and somebody said to me, Freedom Dad, do you really think that they won't do anything? Then my answer is no. I'm not saying they won't do anything. What I'm saying is I don't think they would target who you think they would target. I imagine, looking at Northern Ireland in the past 30 years, growing up, I've been 50, but in my 20s is when I really started learning things properly and understanding things, you know, in my early 20s. And, you know, pretty much from then on, it's like, you know, you just know the way things go, you know what I mean? And I imagine if they were going to do anything, they would probably target, you know, I don't even like saying it, but I'm just, it's my opinion. You know, I'm not here saying this is what's going to happen or this is what I want to happen. Of course not. One of my followers has asked me, Roscoe, you asked me a question. I'm telling you what I think. There is a possibility politicians could be targeted. You know, they could be held responsible, because Ireland is a crazy place, you know what I mean? And I know politicians, you know, that have been targeted, you know, it's the way it is over there, you know what I mean? So going on that theory of what we've seen and the way things are going, there is a possibility that could happen. You know, the strange thing about it all is Sinn Féin, who have been the protectors of Ireland, seem to be the ones doing the most damage. So I would imagine as well, on top of everything else, there's probably a bit of an argument, there's the scuffle going on in the leadership, because there's not much difference, I personally think, between Sinn Féin and the leadership. You know, I think the political wing and the armed wing are very close, you know, maybe not as close as they used to be, but I still believe that they are close. Hope that answers your question, mate. Brilliant question, like, you know what I mean? It's a good one to get out there, like. I'm just going to go to your comments, guys. This is what this is about. This is just me chatting the chat with you, because I missed it last night. Pretty pissed off myself, you know what I mean? but it is what it is. Roscoe, got it. Willow Ferry, hold on 2 seconds. Hello, Willow Ferry. Hello, Little Englander. Freedom Dad, leader of our channel, has been terminated. I loved watching her videos, don't know why. Oh, didn't really. Thank you for hanging that up there. Is she on X? if anybody could get in touch with her, ask her to add me an X. I'll add her back, and I'll find out what happened, and we'll see if we can get her another channel, another channel of hers up and running. It'd be interesting to find out what happened. You know what I mean? And you know why she got shut down. You know, but like I say, if I ever get shut down, guys, I will be on X, and you know, I would just anybody that I've recommended, like Sapaz, Arthur, British Launderer, even Paul Thorpe, or you know, Richard Inman, you know what I mean? I imagine they will get the word out of where I am, so you can jump on there and just carry on as normal, you know what I mean? So yeah, I never worry about stuff like that too much. You know, it is a bit disheartening, all the videos and everything, but it's part and parcel. You know what I mean? It's like it goes with the territory, guys. You know, you've just got to have the right mindset when you're coming into this. You know what I mean? Vanda, hi, evening, Vanda. Good evening, Freedom Dad. All in chat. Helen Nettleship. Good evening, Freedom Dad, and all in chat. Good evening, Helen. No, hi, Noel. Eddie, good to see you. Eddie, good to see you. Good to see you here. Eddie's been working really hard behind the scenes, guys. I'll fill these in a wee minute. Charlie, Tristan, talking sense, Freedom Dad. Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Some would disagree, like, spot on, mate. Done untold damage. You've been busy painting. Aye, busy painting, mate. Aye, yeah, and cutting my fingers. oh, thanks. Hi, Paddington. Good to see you back on, mate. Good to get the usual faces and all that, but get a good chat. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's got a wee thing I want to bring tonight, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if you've seen it. You know what I mean? It's I mentioned it last night on my live last night. I said to Arthur about it. And I said to Arthur, do you know that guy that represented the Manchester, them scallywags from the scallywags? That's not even right, is it, man? That's them two scumbags that are involved in the Manchester carry on. They tried to get them policemen fired. You know, them two. Well, the guy represented them. Remember the lawyer, the Muslim lawyer that represented them, and he was saying that the guy had a brain hemorrhage and all that, or a blood clot and all that, because the copper kicked them in the head. I've got him here. Him and this other character have started up a political party, and I was just wanting to run through this with you because I just think it's quite funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's play it. I hope you can hear it okay. I am going to butt in.
New Islamic political party.
We are going to put up candidates in every ward in Birmingham. We have mentioned it before. Now is the time to take action. We are going to launch an independent candidate alliance, and all of the candidates will be under that umbrella.
For far too long, the Labour Party and its councillors and members of Parliament have reaped the rewards on the back of our communities, and rather than represent them, have misrepresented them. No more.
It's because the councillors and the members of Parliament are subservient to their leadership rather than the people who have put them in power. We are no longer going to tolerate this.
Remember that.
Okay, well, I don't need to remind you of the dangers of sectarian politics in the UK, but unfortunately, it does seem that until we have a drastic change of course, that appears to be the direction we're heading. But I do want to shed light on these two characters who are setting up the pro-Islam Independent Candidate Alliance. Let's start with Ahmed Yaqub, the former lawyer of the Manchester Airport defendants who claimed his clients in that situation were victims of an attempted assassination at the hands of police. This is Yaqub boasting how he worked to get another of his clients a soft sentence after dealing Class A drugs.
Private supplier receives only 8 months in custody and will be out of prison soon. Those are the type of headlines that you expect to see.
I mean, a heroin supplier, 8 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? I've seen other videos. I've got a video. Like most of you guys have been following me. I done a video about this guy, so I have. It's not a video about him, but he's popped up in one of my videos, so he has. And it wasn't not long. I don't think it's about a month ago, and there was a load of Muslim men that were involved in the riots in England. Well, some sort of disorder at that time. The same time everybody was getting arrested, these group ended up in court, and they didn't even get to jail. I don't use maybe remembered. I'm sure they got a conditional discharge or some sort of discharge, and he was the one that represented them. And at the time, I was really shocked that he had the audacity to stand outside the court and show off that he got all these Muslim men off at the exact same time. No, white British guys were going to prison for 2.5 to 3 up to 4 years for basically the same sort of thing. We've got guys in jail for shouting at dogs, police dogs. We've got guys in jail for saying things where we're 110% factual. Like, I don't care what anybody says, that guy, Axel Rudy, whatever his name is, was a Muslim, and everybody the dogs in the street were saying that he was a Muslim. Everybody knew he was a Muslim, and that guy got to jail for saying that. Let's have a wee look. I will keep on. I will keep up your comments, guys. I've got them right here.
In Birmingham, after my client today received only 8 months for supplying Class A drugs, but they don't know the backstory that my client was actually being forced to sell drugs because of a death that he had got himself into.
Hi, John.
Last year, Yaqub apologised for joking about domestic violence on a podcast where he said 70% of hell will be women. When another podcast guest said he would give a female a backhander, Yaqub replied, "Brother, are you saying that if she comes up in your personal space, you'll defend yourself?" And that's, of course, a reference to defence arguments employed by lawyers, which prompted laughter from all other guests on the podcast. And on that same podcast episode, Yaqub is seen laughing along when the man he created this new party with, Shakil Afsar, who I'll get onto in a second, said this.
Okay, the other argument is, okay, so if you don't like it here, go to your own country.
But why would we do that when our forefathers were instrumental in rebuilding this country after World War II? It was our grandfathers who worked in the factory 20 hours. It was our grandfathers who came here and run the infrastructure. It was our grandfathers who bought you the lovely curry, which is your national dish. So how can you tell us to go? We're not going nowhere. We are here to stay. Like I said, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
So, right, okay, I'm just going to, there's more to come. You're in for a treat, guys. I promise you're in for an absolute treat here. Like, if you haven't seen this, you're in for a treat. So, basically, we're not here, they're here to take over. Now, yes, it's a joke, okay? They're all, it's a joke. But, I'm a logical guy, and I do say to use and say, I always mean what I say and say what I mean. And I've said this before. This is how I go through life, and this is how I've always went through life. And I don't. Maybe it's a jail thing. Maybe it's just a jail thing. I don't know, to be honest with you, where it came from. But I have this thing where somebody says a joke, right? It's a joke, but it's came into their head to start with. You understand? It's when people say like something really rude. You know what I mean? Like when guys, you must have been around a guy that makes, like, as you've been growing up and they've made a comment about a schoolgirl, right? You know what I mean? And it's funny, but why would that come into somebody's head? I always look at a guy and think to myself, why would that joke even come into your head, mate? You understand? Even though it's funny and everybody's laughing and it's like, that's bad, you know what I mean? It's still something that guy, or everything that guy could have said in that moment in life, he chose to make that joke. So that's why I always say to people, you don't understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a joke, but at the end of the day, that's in his head. We're hearing these jokes all the time coming from these type of guys,
Last month, Yaqub is understood to have paid thousands of pounds in damages to a young teacher he accused online of being a racist. Cheryl Bennett faced hate mail, abuse and threats, and also feared for her job after an online mob set on her following Yaqub's false accusations. Yaqub, who runs Morris Andrews law firm in Birmingham, is said to be under investigation still by the Solicitors Regulation Authority over the incident, though no formal proceedings have yet been brought. Last year, Yaqub also retweeted this post about the Yemeni Houthi rebels. The long thread included detail about the Houthis, such as, "They love death as much as you love life, if not more.
I don't know what's happened there, guys. I'm just going to take it on a wee bit. So I am just.
And we caught a flavour of him just then. Last year,
Hold
he
on.
suggested Israel's campaigning.
It's a wee bit long, so I'm going to skip a wee bit to get to the good bit. Just want to say hello to Gobster. Welcome to the channel, mate. First time I've seen you. You know, big YouTuber, guys. So gotta pay my respects when somebody jumps on. And James, good to see you on again tonight, mate. And Giovanni, good, always good to see you, my man. And yeah, all good, all good. So yeah, I'm going to try and skip to the bit that's like that I think you'll enjoy. You know what I mean? It's not all doom and gloom, guys. I promise you. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, we'll just batter on and see how we get on.
Afsar also thinks immigrants have made Britain what it is today.
I hope every British citizen will thank God for the immigrants who have come here and made this country what it is today. The surgeons, the cardiovascular doctors, the cardiovascular nurses, the people who have invested businesses here, the members of parliament.
And he boasted about aiming to bring down the Labour Party piece by piece over, quotes, the plight of his people.
Time has come for us to work even more vigorously for the plight of our people. This is only the beginning, and we must ensure that we bring the Labour Party down piece by piece.
So there we go. Make up your own minds about whether you think these two people should come within an inch of our parliament. They haven't yet registered their party with the Electoral Commission, but don't think it's not possible to see them soon wandering the corridor.
So, guys, what do you think? Do you think it won't be long before we see these guys walking the corridors of the House of the Parliament? You know? Well, I think we should give these two guys a chance. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be professional here. You know what I mean? I think we should give these two guys a chance and hear what they've got to say. You know what I mean? And we'll just at the end of the day, let's not judge. You know what I mean? If what people are saying and what Nigel Farage is saying and all the big educated people about talking about the demographics and what way we're going and what direction we'll be in 50 years, 40 years, or even 30 years, some people are saying, then we need to know who these people are and what, you know, it gives us an idea of what we're up against.
Of power. Because Yaqub narrowly lost out on becoming an MP last year. And these two are very clear and very focused on what they want to achieve. And I'm pleased to say they join me now. Solicitor and former Birmingham parliamentary candidate Ahmed Yaqub and Shakil Afsar, also a former Birmingham parliamentary candidate. Good evening to you both. Thank you for joining.
You see the England top? The England mentioned the England top he's wearing. Surely not. It's just an England top, innit? It shouldn't be anything significant about an England top, you know what I mean? Just a football top, you know?
Mate, I'm pleased to have your company, actually. We'll run through point by point what I just mentioned in that introduction there, so you can have your right of reply, chaps. But first of all, Ahmed, explain what the Independent Candidate Alliance is and what your goals are, if you would.
First of all, thank you very much, Ben, for having us, and good evening. In terms of the Independent Candidate Alliance, it's an alliance of independent candidates all over Birmingham. And we are...
I have to say, guys, you know, I mean, it's a good start. It's and Dano picked on up in this one. If you listen to what he says, right, how he explains what they are, it's just
point by point what I just mentioned in that introduction there, so you can have your right of reply, chaps. But first of all, Ahmed, explain what the Independent Candidate Alliance is and what your goals are, if you would.
First of all, thank you very much, Ben, for having us, and good evening. In terms of the Independent Candidate Alliance, it's an alliance of independent candidates all over Birmingham. And we are focusing on the neglected working class people in the inner city areas of Birmingham. And like you mentioned earlier, that we are launching a Islamist party. This is not an Islamist party. And this party is open to all faiths and people of all color. We have had inquiries from people of the white background, black background, Asian background, Sikh background, and all sorts. So when we are going to come, we are coming as a united force of all religions and all faiths and of all colours.
Okay, can I ask then if that applies to Shaquille? Maybe you can answer this. When you said that or suggested that what was going on in Gaza, that Israel were behaving like Nazis, are Jews welcome in your party?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm absolutely disgusted how you introduced us as claiming that we are Islamist party when our logo actually bears
Never said
the
Islamist.
flag of England. Well, this is actually, I feel what you're trying to do is disguide your viewers when we actually have the flag of United Kingdom within our ICA logo, which we are very proud of.
That's all right. We're okay. It's okay. They've got the Union Jack in their logo, so we're all good. You know, you can see this the virtue signaling that they're doing straight away. There should be no reason to even be talking down these lines. The rhetoric that they're going down straight away. You know, I know he's going on, but they are. We know we're only going on by how these men have behaved in the past. Yeah, it's their actions that's creating our reaction. We aren't sitting here as haters that just hate two random guys who are wanting to become politicians. We're sitting here taking the piss out of these two because we know who they are and what they're all about. And they're about to sit here on TV and bare-faced lie to everybody.
And as my colleague right here is wearing the England t-shirt, if you to suggest that we're trying to make some Islamic state is absolutely a derogatory comment, but bringing it
Shaquille, let me respond to that.
Bringing it back to whether Jewish people are allowed in our party. This is an alliance. This is an alliance for any person who feels disproportionately misrepresented. Okay. This is not about mine or Ahmed's religious views. This is that we want to stand for people who feel misrepresented, represented, regardless of their caste, color, or creed. We do not discriminate people. And when I said that the Israeli establishment are like the Nazis, I absolutely agree. I categorically believe that what Netanyahu is doing, he is a modern day Hitler and he is behaving like a Nazi. And the fact that you are actually pushing to your viewers or disallowing this, I feel quite worried, Ben.
Oh, you're worried about me?
I am absolutely.
Shaquille, sorry, let me just go back to Shaquille. You said you're not here to take over. Let me play this clip from your podcast last year. You said that very same thing. Let's play that clip again, just to remind our viewers. Let's play the takeover clip again.
No problem.
Okay, you know the other argument is, okay, so if you don't like it here, go to your own country.
But why would we do that when our forefathers were instrumental in rebuilding this country after World War II? It was our grandfathers who were. And
this is another thing, right? So I've been around builders all my life, right? And I've like, when I was young, I used to do the labouring. I used to like do 2 or 3 brickies at a time. Not a problem. Supplying bricks and cement. 3 was maybe my max. And there is Asian, for want of a, like, builders, brickies, but there's not many. And like, I've always been under the impression with all the books that I've read, and like, I'm not just talking about history books, I'm talking about books about life, about life about after the war and how it was rebuilt. And the same people keep coming up over time and time again. And it's the Irish. That's who built England. That's why Liverpool, Birmingham, Sheffield, like some of these cities are identical to Belfast. The streets are identical. Coronation Street, when you see the cat on the wall, it's just like looking at an alleyway in Belfast. And this is what they say. They say that they look the same because it was mostly Irishmen that were building it. So maybe I'm missing something, guys. Maybe you know a wee bit better or know a wee bit more than I do. But this is the first time that I've ever heard of Pakistani men building England after the war. Yeah, the curry bit. I got the curry bit. Yeah, thank you so much. We all love curry. You know what I mean? But in
the factory 20 hours. It was our grandfathers who came here and run the infrastructure. It was our grandfathers who brought you the lovely curry, which is your national dish. So how can you tell us to go? We're not going nowhere. We are here to stay. Like I said, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
So is that what your party's about? Are you taking over the UK?
like I said to you, we are here to stay. We are not here to take part, but we are here to take over.
What was that clip about then? Can you address
what
that?
What I mean by that, Ben,
Yeah.
is we are here to take over from those right-wing extremists like Nigel Farage, like Tommy Robinson, like the reform.
Right. Fucking that, they've lost me. I was actually going with these guys, like they had me. I swear to God, they had me. I'm thinking to myself, interesting. Another party outside the box, you know what I mean? Somebody other than Reform they vote for. But nah, not after calling Nigel Farage far right. Okay, and if there's one person that isn't far right, it's definitely fucking Nigel Farage. So they obviously haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Not even going to go down to Tommy Robinson. We expect that about Tommy Robinson. But Nigel Farage, jeez, oh man.
Party who is on the back of disproportionately discriminating our communities, gaining votes. We are here to take over from them. Most certainly we will take over from them, Ben.
So when you said in that clip there, we plan to take over, because the conversation was about Muslims being told to go home, and you were saying, well, no, Muslims built this country post World War II. We gave you curry as your national dish. We don't plan to take part. We plan to take over. So you're saying that your words there were misconstrued.
Ben, we are British Muslims.
Right.
So as British Muslims, we are here to take over from right-wing and actually extreme left-wing extremism.
So they're here to take over the right wing and the far left, right? So we as a community have been looking for the far right, right? We've been looking for because he's talking about the far right, isn't he? Nobody talks about right wing. We don't get classed as just normal right wing politicians or political mindsets. We are all labelled far right. So he's going to take over the far. Who? You understand what I'm saying? So basically, we are the ones that are getting labelled far right. Tommy Robinson is the ones getting labelled far right. Reform voters are the ones getting labelled far right. UKIP voters are getting labelled far right. Conservative voters are getting labelled far right. So that's who he's coming to take over, guys. Because there is no far right. We know when they say far right, they're talking about us. They've been talking about us as the far right for the last 5 years. Let's not beat about the bush, guys. He is telling you basically he's telling the truth. But don't get mixed up with the trickery of the words. Remember what the words mean. They've been using them for long enough. You throw enough mud, guys, it does stick.
And bring it back. And most of your viewers, for those of you who don't know us, we are not actually here to push forward our religious values. We are here to fight the right wing and the extreme left wing narrative that exists in our communities.
Well, I think we agree on the left wing.
So he's saying right wing as well. So they're here to fight the right wing. Why would you fight the right wing? We're all for family. We're all for love. We're all for peace. The right wing aren't racist. Right wing just love their country. They love their traditions. They love Christian. They love Christianity. They love Christmas. It's right wing. It's not that bad. There's nothing wrong with being right wing. When all of a sudden do you need to attack the right wing? When all of a sudden do you need to overtake and overcome the right wing? What's wrong with inclusion? What's wrong with living together? Nigel Farage wants to take you with him. Do you not want to go with Nigel Farage? Or you just want to you want to overtake them? This is because this is what Nigel Farage is saying. Nigel Farage is telling us he wants to take these men with him. But that's what I'm trying to say. These men don't want to go with him. But he doesn't seem to get that into his head. And that's some of the problems I have with Nigel Farage, guys.
I just hate it. So at least that's something we agree on.
We agree on both. You agree on one.
Yeah. Ahmed, I'm going to come to you in just a second. But Shakil, you said that this isn't a religious thing, but you were protesting. You were one of the main protesters, actually, at the Lady of Heaven film being banned some years ago because it criticised the Prophet Muhammad. And this is what you said. I've got a clip. This is what you said about laying your life on the line for the Prophet Muhammad, if we've got this clip.
Birmingham will not tolerate the disrespect of our Prophet, peace be upon him, and there will be outcomes from your actions. You will have repercussions for your actions. We have been trained from birth that we must defend the honor of our Prophet, and we will lay our life on the line.
So before you hear his response to this nonsense, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds just to maybe think of where he's going to go. Where do you go to respond to that? You got to understand, he's on mainstream telly. Like Tommy Robinson cannot get a platform on mainstream telly, guys. But these two characters have got a platform in mainstream. GB News have got no problem putting these two boys on, have they? But you know, their rhetoric is pretty strong there. They've been born to fight. You know, that's basically. I'm not gonna, you know, let's be honest. I'm telling you how it comes across. They're speaking, mean what you say and say what you mean. You know, this is what I'm saying, guys. It's all logical. It's all simple. You know, there's no reading between the lines here. You know, you mess about with us, and we're coming for you. You know.
So, what does that mean that you'll lay your life on the line for the Prophet Muhammad? You still there?
But I'll clarify for you, like I did for your colleague Nigel Farage on this very same channel, that when we say we will lay our life on the line to guide and protect the honor of our Prophet, we will use all legal avenues available to us. We will protest against films.
Right. So basically, guys, you know, it's one of them situations. You know what I mean? That you're in, like you're talking to somebody. And you're like, I'm really not happy. I'm gonna, you know, say I'm talking to my drug worker, right? And I'm, you know, you can't trust. Like, my drug workers are amazing and all that, and my psychologists and all that are all amazing, right? And but I've still got to be careful what I say. So imagine I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm not really happy about churches getting turned into mosques and all that, and blah blah blah. And then, you know, I'm getting agitated and maybe getting a wee bit violent with my words and all that, and saying, she starts saying to me, oh, but you can't really say that. And then I would then turn around and go, but I mean, like, in a peaceful way, of course, you know, legally and all that. You understand? You know, we've all done that sort of thing, you know what I mean? Where we, you know, we've you know, quickly shifted and, you know, changed our tune because we've been presented with somebody that's, and basically he has said these words and he is now having to say something. He's put himself out there. He's come on telly, so he's got to say something. You know what I mean? And now he's saying, oh, but it was all peacefully. We were going to go and get lawyers and take them to court. You know what I mean? We weren't going to go out on the streets. We weren't asking for anybody. What happened to that guy that burnt the Quran? We're not calling for nothing like that.
Disproportionately causing hate amongst our communities. We will protest against those individuals who want to divide us. And when like I said to Nigel Farage on this very TV, when I said we will defend the honor of our Prophet, we did not mean that we will pick up rocket launchers and start to murder people. We are law-abiding citizens who will use the democratic powers to our advantage, like we are doing so. This is why.
Sorry, guys. Who said anything about rocket launchers and killing people? You know what I mean? Okay, that escalated quickly.
I said the formation of the ICA has showed us how many different people from different caste, color, or creeds, whether they're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, blue, pink, are joining our cause. And overnight, we've already gained over 1,200 members.
All right, last question to you, Shakil. Do you believe in blasphemy laws or free speech? Because your current, record suggests that you believe in blasphemy laws. Is that correct?
I believe if individuals start issues in our streets that prevent the breach of the peace and they call.
Right, so in translation, what he just said there. So if anybody comes into their streets, into their areas, or around any one of them and causes issues, then basically they want blasphemy laws in to prevent breach of the peace. Because what he's not saying, it would be them committing breach of the peace. But what happens in Britain right now, when that kind of thing happens with the two-tier, it's always the other person that gets done with the breach of the peace. So if you go to a Palestinian protest and you try and interview some of the people there and ask them what they're all about and why they're out behaving like this and shouting some of the slogans that they shout, and some of these far left guys from Hope Not Hate and End Racism come over with the masks on, the Stewarts and the Marshalls, and they start pushing you and telling the police, oh, we don't want him here. Now, that's a reporter. And nobody's got the right to tell anybody to go anywhere. Like, if somebody doesn't want to come up and talk to a reporter, they don't have to. A citizen journalist, if you don't want to talk, if I go up to somebody and put a microphone, they can walk away. I'm not forcing anybody to answer any of my questions. But, you know, what normally happens is the police then threaten the citizen journalist with breach of the peace. You get me? But in this case, what he's talking about, the breach of the peace, would be committed by them because they're not happy of whatever has happened, whether it's a Quran being burnt, whether it's somebody not agreeing with Islam, or whether it's somebody not agreeing with Muhammad. If that happens in front of them, they think this is basically. I'll let him try and talk his way to this one.
Hate amongst communities, that there needs to be some laws put into place to
So
protect
you believe in
our
blasphemy laws?
civilians. Yeah, no, I believe that we need to stop any breach of the peace. I believe that we need to protect our communities.
Well,
And if people want to-
can
the
I
same
not peacefully
way-
criticise
sorry,
Islam?
Ben, sorry, Ben. The same way, if somebody was burning the Jewish Torah in the middle of Bullring, me and Ahmed would be the first people to stop them. The same
Okay.
way, if they were burning a Bible, we would be the first people to stop them. And I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. That doesn't cut with anybody. The problem that we've got is that people are getting unalived for burning the Quran. There's nobody getting burned alive for burning any Jewish books. There's nobody getting unalived for burning the Bible. You know, the only people that seems to be getting unalived is people that do anything against the Quran or say anything about Muhammad.
You've seen previously people have announced to burn the Bible, but have actually gone there and said we can never burn this book. So the narrative
Well,
you're painting, my dear friend, is.
I've never seen a bloke get arrested for burning the Bible, but last week somebody was arrested for burning the Quran. Ahmed, let me just come to you. There's a couple of clips I played in that introduction there. The reason I'm posing these to you, by the way, guys, is to get a flavour of what you stand for.
See you later, Eddie.
When you make Parliament. And to be honest, I'm quite sure you would make Parliament. So when people like you are making our laws, I think it's quite important that the electorate understand who's roaming the corridors of power. Ahmed, you apologised recently for comments about domestic violence on a podcast. Have you got a problem with women? Because you seem to have a bit of a trend where, again, recently in a separate incident, you set an online mob on a poor teacher, calling her racist. You had to pay her thousands of pounds in compensation. Is there an issue there with women?
There is no issue whatsoever with women. I've got a wife. I was born from a woman, so I have.
So this is the intelligence. He's got a wife and he's been born by a woman. Geez, I'd like to think so. I really would like to think so, guys. You know what I mean? There'd be something wrong, but like that's the evidence that there's no way that he's got anything bad to do with women, because he's got a wife and he's got a mother, basically. You know, I think what the problem was that he's got a problem with strong white women with blonde hair. You know, from what I've heard from outside of YouTube, because I have heard about this guy. I know a couple of guys have had dealings with him. I know a little bit about him, of how extravagant he is and how he doesn't really practice what he preaches, you know. And they're the most dangerous, to be honest with you. You know, like I say, you know what I mean? It's like one face for this, one face for that, and another face for another. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even think this guy knows who he is half the time, you know. But we'll let him crack on.
No issues, and like you rightfully said, Ben, I have apologized, and I don't want to keep apologizing for my past. And in terms of the teacher, it's been settled with her. I'm obliged to keep answering the same questions again and again.
Okay, I'll ask you another one. Do you want Sharia law in the UK?
No, of course no.
And what do you make of the October 7th attack?
I think that it was a terrible attack, but it has nothing to do with the independent candidate alliance. Why you have called us on today?
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's very important that every political party that's going to be running to get the votes of the people of Britain, they should be open and honest about everything. And we do. It's really important. You know, you're shouting free Palestine. You keep going on about free in Palestine, and you keep banging the Gaza drum. You know, you run on this guy here. Sorry, guys, this guy here, Hammer. He run for mayor on the back of Gaza. So he did. You know. You understand that? That would be like me, you know, being a loyalist, being involved in the loyalist stuff, or a Republican, being involved back in the day, got all about the Republican stuff, and then lying on TV about my true beliefs and feelings. You know what I mean? When there's other video footage that make clear what your true beliefs and feelings are about Israel and Palestine.
I do hope that Palestine is free one day.
Okay, I'm going to introduce my panel now, because they've got questions for you, if you don't mind. But Will Kingston, Chloe Dobbs, and the
Not long, guys. Then we'll get a chat.
Who you'd probably be quite keen to talk to, seeing as that you're targeting Labour seats. Will, do you want to go first? What's your question?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. I'm sure you would both agree that the grooming or rape gangs scandal was one of the UK's great sources of national shame. You know that those grooming gangs were overwhelmingly comprised of Pakistani Muslim men. Some people have said that the motivations behind those grooming gangs were in part driven by attitudes towards women in parts of the Islamic community. What would you do to address both the grooming gangs, which we know are still operating today, as well as broader attitudes towards women in parts of the Islamic community in the United Kingdom?
Well, I've said it a number of times, grooming is a very, very serious crime, and it doesn't matter who does it. And a particular faith or a particular type of people should not be targeted if one or two of those people commit a particular.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. There's not one or two of a particular type of guy or characteristic or again whatever. It's not one or two. You know what I mean? This gets worse. This bit, guys. This does get. You want to hear what this other character says? It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm sick hearing it, to be honest with you. And I will stop it after it, and we will talk a wee bit about it. We're nearly at the end of this, but you know what I mean. I can't really be doing too much more with these two guys because, like, you know, it is a wee bit of entertainment for us guys. Let's be honest. You know, and that's as far as I'm going to say about these two. You know, but fucking hell, man. Yeah.
Offense, whether it's a Pakistani, whether it's a white man, whether it's a Muslim man, whether it's a Christian man, whether it's a Jewish man, a crime is a crime, and we will do.
Sorry, guys. The thing is, right? This is my point. I'm going to get across here, and I've said this before, right? So let's say it's not Pakistani men, Madonna. And when we say Pakistani men, we do agree it's up at the top. It's up at the top. It's like a totally different part of Pakistan. There, you know, this part of Pakistan, the people, there's hardly anybody comes from there at all. It's involved with the grooming gangs. It's all up at the top near the Khyber Pass, bordering with Afghanistan, and you know, like it's if it was, like, say, Irish people, right? So say it was Irish people, it was all Irish men that were involved with these grooming gangs, and I was on here being interviewed by somebody, I would be like, yeah, it is concerning. I'm fucking really concerned. I can't get my head around it. I do not understand why my fellow Irishmen are behaving like this, and all I can do is really apologise. You know, I don't know what else to do, and I don't know what else to say. I'm totally horrified that men that come from my country in the same part of the world as me, that's the direction I would go in every single time anybody asked me about anything like that. If it was people from my area, that my culture, that were doing something as horrific. But would you hear this?
Level best to prevent this kind of behavior. I'm a father of 4 children myself, and I'm against this, and I will forever be against this.
With respect, I think that's a deflection, because these gangs were overwhelmingly, as in 99%, comprised of Muslim majority men. There is a common denominator there. So the question would be, how would you actually address that in what is parts of the Islamic community in the United Kingdom?
Well, look, I'll add in here. To be honest with you, as individuals who live here, we believe that anybody who is involved in any type of grooming should be punished for the full extent of the law. But the fact that the media has pushed this to be a Muslim issue and an Asian issue, as you guys and the panel will know, that majority of the UK sex offenders are white middle-aged men who look like yourself. So to be...
How angry does that make you? How angry does that make you to have a man like that sit there and say that the problem is that it's predominantly white men, middle-aged men, that are committing the most sexual acts in this country? Of course, that will always be the case because it's a white country. That's like me going to Pakistan and saying, why is there so many Pakistani house burglars? You understand? It's absolute nonsense, and it's a complete deflection of the issues at hand. These issues, when a man, because these aren't the right men, guys. These aren't representing the Muslim community. I promise you. Please do not think that these two men are chancers. These two men are grifters, right? These two men will always be looking for an opportunity to make money. As somebody says there, that character, he's got a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? I'll just run this a wee couple of more minutes and then we'll have a
Honestly,
chat.
with all due respect, for you to isolate one community and ask us what we feel about it, we feel disgusted, absolutely disgusted, and we believe anybody who is involved in such activity should be put into the harshest punishment given. But when you clarify this point, you the press and the media like to isolate it to a Muslim issue, but which you find
Right. The press and the media have never, ever done what he just said. The press and the media have done nothing but silence it and keep it quiet. It's only been the last few months because Elon Musk and everybody in America is going off their nut about it that our press and media have started talking about it. So again, he's talking pure nonsense. He's getting on as if the press and the media has been hounding and blaming all the Muslim and all Pakistani men for the last I don't know how long. And our media has been silent. Our government has been silencing people. It's been trying to bring attention to it. And we've got these characters trying to tell us these kind of statements. What planet are they living on? Do they really think that we're that stupid? I'm actually surprised GB brought them on. One more minute, guys.
you have your right to do so, but please then clarify also that majority of pedophile and sexual offenders are white middle-aged men that look like yourselves.
I can clarify. We know that is because the vast majority of men in this country are white men. So it is on a per capita level, these sorts of crimes are disproportionately committed by Islamic or people from migrant Islamic communities. That's the issue that I want to get at, is there's disproportionate.
Chloe, very quick question.
Right, so I'm just going to wrap it up there, guys. Well, just for that, we'll get a wee chat. So we will just get this off because it's just delayed at the back. So, yeah, I don't know how it makes you feel, guys. You know, truthfully, like, I'll just bring this down a wee. I'm going to reset all this up because I had to lift myself a wee bit higher. So I did. Oh, man. All right, back down to reality. Yeah, so let me just move this closer to the light, guys. So yeah, just a wee bit of entertainment for the night, guys. That's all that is. You know, we're not going to look at that any more or any other way than a bit of entertainment. You know, no, we're not going to take these characters serious. Obviously, there's a message there that we need to be careful about. You know what I mean? That, you know, that the opportunities are there for people like that to create political parties. And who knows? Who knows where this political party might go, guys? We just don't know. But I can assure you now, there will not be any Jewish men in that party. And there won't be any Sikhs in it, okay? I can put money on that one, like. So let's have a chat, see what you've been saying. All right, we Bix, good to see you. MS, good to see you. James, yeah, but Gobster Stock, good that you're still with us, mate. Good that you're still with us. Will Furry posed by the Lambo. Yeah, that's right. He's got a load of Lambos, I think. They are dangerous grifters, yeah. I did even get her. Mental. Isn't it nuts? Isn't it nuts that Tommy Robinson, they won't have Tommy Robinson anywhere near the thing. And they get these two. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it's like, what? Really? GB News are undermining the danger of people like this. Well, yeah, they're undermining a lot of things, so they are. James, or was that, yeah, James found that he's obviously clued up, doesn't even, he seemed active. But I can't listen to him anymore. He's intentionally missing the point. Yeah, it's frustrating, very frustrating. But this is the rhetoric that they're coming out with. This is where I'm hearing this from them all. As soon as anybody goes on about the grooming gangs, straight away they go, oh, but the people that do the most is the white people, you know. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we know it's a white country. You know what I mean? Jeez, oh. Out of everything that you would say and reply, that's what you reply with. You know, jeez, oh man. Yeah, right. You're right, Charlie. Thank you. Yeah, I reckon, you know, he's a lawyer. You know what I mean? And he is. He's getting people off, mate. You know, that I'm telling you, I've seen videos where he's getting guys off. So I don't know what's going on there, you know. He's on TikTok, you know what I mean? I'll have a wee look into it and give it a wee shout out on my video. If anybody knows his TikTok handle, stick it up in the comments, guys. Quite sure you'll get a laugh of that, you know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? they're just two chancers, you know what I mean, trying to make a bit of money, you know what I mean. But you know, the danger is that they're not being honest. You know, we want, you know, we're looking for a bit of honesty, you know what I mean, and we're wanting some uncomfortable truths. You know, there should be no man that ever comes on, including me, that can sit down and be interviewed and not feel a bit uncomfortable about something. You know, because not everything is easy to say, you know, and that's just the way the world is. And unless we get people like that from that side, and there is guys out there, there's plenty of Muslim guys out there, but the problem is they're not going to get the vote from the Muslim. These guys might get the vote, you know, if that's all they've got, you know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who they are. It's who they represent is the most important thing, I think, in this whole thing. Like, and I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'm just throwing it out to you in the fat, like the video says. You know, personally, if this is the best they've got, don't think we've got much to worry about. TikTok banned me after last Saturday, the first, mate. I'm scared to put a video. I've had that many knocked down. I think there's somebody going through all my videos. Yeah, I've had 2. Now I'm due to get banned, you know what I mean? So I've just left it. I've just left it, you know. I'm doing really do all right in TikTok, so you could, like, you know what I mean? But if it's not for us, it's not for us. I wouldn't play about with stuff like that, mate. I wouldn't, like, there's no point being on a platform where you've really got to watch what you say and you're worrying about getting stuff taken down. And, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, there's plenty of platforms out there. And hopefully Elon Musk will be getting his act together soon with a platform like YouTube. TikTok, man. Well, their fear of offending will be our demise. They may get the demographic vote, 100%. They must have followers, them too. Yeah, you know, 100%. They do. They do. This is what I mean. You're bang on. Good points. Like, you're all making good points. John Capone, man, you know. You have to really, they must have followers. You're right. There must be people out there pushing what they're pushing, you know what I mean? And yeah, we all understand that they're not going to come on the GB News and be honest, you know. We know there's underlying stuff going on, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And but it says a lot that GB News got them on. You can see how easy it is for them. Can you see how easy it's going to be for them? And, you know, and this is what I keep saying, you know what I mean? It's everybody's like all right at the minute and all, you know, everything's all good right now. But I'm always talking, I'm never looking at right now. I'm never looking at right now. I'm always looking at when my daughter's 20, when my daughter's 30, you know, and that's what drives me, because it fucking terrifies me, guys, you know, and anybody with a bit of sense, you know, and you can fucking do whatever you want to me. That won't change how I feel. It won't change. It won't stop me protecting my daughter. It won't stop me protecting. I will be able to protect my daughter from a prison cell, believe it or not. But I will, you know. Just having the knowledge of what's coming is enough to protect my daughter, you know. But at the same time, it's not enough, you know. I mean, I want to protect your daughters too, you know. And that's the way Tommy is, and Richard, and Paul, and Tusi, you know. Gobster, you know, I'd like to think this is why all these guys do this. You know, there's no selfish reasons. You know, 110%. The last thing I want to do is be sitting doing this. Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more and getting to know people, and I've built a relationship and a community up. Yeah, so of course I'm enjoying it. I never knew it was going to go like this, not for 1 minute, but I've already said all that. But the point is, I wouldn't have started it. I wouldn't have went and done Who Is Freedom Dad and put myself out there and talked about stuff that were really uncomfortable, you know, stuff I've never spoke about to nobody, you know, apart from my wife, you know, even some of that stuff I never even told my wife. Jeez, oh. And there's me walking about a field telling, I'm thinking 50 or 100 people, you know. Turned out one of my videos got 140,000 views. I shot myself. I'll be honest with you guys. I was like, whoa. I was just scared to look at it. I was like, honestly, after about 40,000 views, because I was like trying to keep up with the comments and all that, love heart and everybody and all that, and, you know what I mean? Oblivious to what was going on, because I never knew how far the video was going to go. And there was a few videos, 20,000, 40,000, you know, we're like bang, bang, bang. You know, it was easy peasy. You know what I mean? But like, obviously I didn't want to be a big channel, and so I never put subscribe or told anybody to subscribe. I never done none of that. You know what I mean? I had the sense, you know, not to run before I could walk. I wanted, you know, to be honest with you, it was because of who I was as well. You know, I thought I would have got a lot of hate from the Republicans and Catholics. I really did. I never thought that, you know, that I would have came across. I never thought I would have got my point across. I never thought I would have got the fact that I don't care about shit like that. And yes, I was brought up as a better boy and brought up in a better place where we hated each other. But we've moved on from that, and you know, we spoke about that. And yeah, like I say, I never met a Catholic until I was 18, and when that Catholic happened to be an IRA man in England, you know, they're doing a 6 for armed robbery, same as me, and we stood back to back. And it was an eye-opener. And I think that, I've always said that, these guys, I think that interaction at such an early age with such a character has made me who I am today. I honestly do believe that. That one interaction had made my brain click to snap out of the brainwash, if one for another word, of how I was brought up in Northern Ireland. 500 members so far. Yeah. Aye. That's the scary part, John. Willow Ferry, oh yes, Freedom Dad, so bloody easy. Yep. GB News done them a big massive favour. Then where are they coming from? GB News like took the piss out of them. They're like, you know, that GB News took the piss out of them. But I'm still surprised, you know what I mean? I do it to speak out and draw attention to things. Thanks, Gobster. Well, on behalf of all my followers, guys, Gobster, thank you. You know, love to get you on sometime, get a wee chat, tell us how long you've been doing it, what drives you, a wee bit about yourself, if you're up for it. You know what I mean? I do a live every Sunday at 6:30, and I always get a guest on. I think I've got somebody lined up this Sunday, but the following Sunday, you're more than welcome to come on. But my followers would love to have you on. It's, you know what I mean? It's nothing professional or nothing. It's just, you need to look at my other lives to see. It's, I don't even have a microphone. They are dangerous, and young Muslims will go. Islamic pubs and bars are the worst. You can't drink alcohol or dance. Women can get stoned though. No questions asked. Islamic pubs and bars? Really? Is that a thing? Is that a wind up? John, tell me if you're winding me up or not. He's got 210.8 fucking hell. 210,000 followers this character's got. Wow. See what I mean? Jeez, oh. Steve Wright, show me and typical stereotypical grifters. Unfortunately, it's a lavish lifestyle attracts followers nowadays instead of a balanced thinking. Yeah, I do believe that quite a lot of the followers will just be young ones that are into Ferraris and Lamborghinis and, you know, but this is what they'll use, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, they will use these kind of things to draw in the young ones, you know, and this is like this is why I worry about some of the stuff I talk about, because I don't want to draw in racist or far right, wherever they are, you know. So, you know, like them, it's very easy to trick people and draw people in. You know, I get to sit here with a puppy, like a wee puppy pug, you know what I mean, and slowly talk about right-wing stuff, you know what I mean, the unsuspecting people, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways you could do stuff, and like I wouldn't put it past them that there's alternative motives. And you know, Tayaki, I think it's called, something like that, is where a Muslim is allowed to tell a lie if it's to protect, or if Muslims are planning to do something, and say you got these guys over here, and then they've got these Muslim warriors here, and these guys, the Muslim warriors, say, no, we're not going to attack you. We promise on Allah, we're not going to attack you. And then they attack them. They're under Muslim law. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to lie in certain circumstances, you know. Fucking the Bible doesn't tell us that we're allowed to lie under certain circumstances, does it? You know what I mean? Steve Wright, blimey, that takes some doing. Right, David Lammy. I had to go back to see what Steve Wright had said there. Yeah. Another murder in my area. I think drugs and coke are playing a big role. Yeah, will be, Emerald, because the characteristics of the new drug dealers have changed. You know, I'm telling you, these guys aren't just coming over here to sign on. These guys are coming over to take over all the trades, all the crime. everything. They've got the beggars sewn up. They've got the drugs sewn up. They've got everything. The cars, the ringers, the fraud. Tulip. She knows I'm on a live. I'm going to go down for a wee smoke. I'll take you down for a wee smoke and say hello to you. I will see what we can do. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you. No problem. No pressure. You know what I mean? I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that, man. You know what I mean? I've got a wee bit of history. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to like put you in a position where people are going, "Oh, you're talking to a loyalist," you know. So yeah, I totally get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's, I don't want to. I certainly don't want to give any of your enemies ammunition. You know what I mean? And there'll be no pubs left the way Labour are going. Yeah, that's for sure. That pub we've got is shutting all the time. It's hardly ever open. Are people not moving away from pubs because of the GMO stuff culture and cocaine culture? Yeah. You're all right, hey John, that's all right, mate. You know what I mean? That's all right, man. I'm a wee bit slow sometimes, you know what I mean? And John Capone gets me sometimes, like, you know what I mean? He does. I get him as well, like, you know what I mean? Whenever we're on talking to each other, I'll go like that. And he goes, "You froze." And I'm just like that. And he's like, "Sparky, you froze." Just wind him up. Oh dear. Yeah, there's a name for that, special lie law for them. And there, when you stick your head above the parvel, yeah, well, shit happens. Yes, yeah, definitely. John Giles, you made me laugh. I'm pretty. I'm in Northern Ireland. Next one, Emerald. It's okay, mate. I have spoken to a few Irish lads, and you get some flack, especially when they find out I'm ex-army. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. And nothing but love and respect for all ex-servicemen, as you know, mate. You know that where I come from. You know what I mean? Oh, what is that? Let me get a wee look at that, guys. The sun's just come up. There's death somewhere. Let me see. Where did that come up? Let me see. I might have to come off this here. Go to that. Sun. 2 seconds, guys. I just want to catch in case there's a break-in. No, nothing I can see. I don't really like the Sun, to be honest with you. Like the Sun, like the newspaper, we used to love the Sun, didn't we? Page 3 and all that, man. But like the Sun, the YouTube channel, it's like all they seem to do is have propaganda for Ukraine. Because, like, obviously, I follow Ukraine very, very closely. I'm like a war correspondent sort of thing. I just love all that, you know what I mean? And so I follow a guy called Colonel McGregor and a guy called Scott Ritter, right? Scott, SCOTTRITTER, and Colonel McGregor. You know McGregor. So they're the ones you get the facts from them because they're Americans and they tell it as it is, and they're quite influential as in the army and everything. They know what's going on the ground, and what you hear from them, right? I swear to God, like I could sit and listen to them for like an hour, right, and then go on to our media, and they are saying the absolute opposite. Like they're going on about Russia under pressure and Russia getting pushed back, and you know, all I'm seeing is like I must be thousands of American, British, and NATO vehicles I've seen blown up by drones. You know, they've got this new drone, right? Because we got jammers that when a drone comes in, it blocks the signal and the drone falls straight to the ground. So the Russians have made this new drone and it's run by fiber optic. You can't make this thing up. This thing can go for miles and it's got a drum underneath it, and it's got this fiber optic wire that comes out the back, has it's flying, and it's constantly connected to the controller, the person who's controlling it. So the jammers don't work. Oh man, it's horrific. Some of the things I've seen is horrific. Like you've got like the Ukrainians would be coming in personnel carriers, right? I swear to God, they open the back doors, and these drones have got cameras on the front of them. So you're watching the screen of this drone, where this drone's going, and the last thing you see is just the look of terror in these guys' eyes. And you know everybody in this vehicle is gone, you know, and it's like, it's just one after the other after the other. The Russians aren't even needing to move forward. They're just getting thousands upon thousands of drones, and they're just attacking with drones, and they're doing so much damage, and it's horrific. And our government will not admit it. Our government will just do not want to admit that the Ukraine have lost the war, you know, and it's nuts. It's really nuts when you know the truth and you hear the truth from so many experts around the world, but yet Britain, you know, just Britain at the minute, because Biden's gone, so that's all, you know, Trump will tell you as it is, you know what I mean? But Britain are still going on. Our Sun, our media are still pushing this rhetoric out that, you know, and it must be because we accept the billions that we're sending. Because if you knew the truth that Ukraine was finished and Russia's fucking, you know, they're running about like fighting Ukrainians and trailing them in the cars to get them to go to the front line, you know, Ukrainians are surrendering en masse because they don't want nothing to do with this fight, you know, and it's and you aren't seeing none of that. It's quite sad, really, the amount of men that's died. It is really, really, really sad, guys. You know. 2 seconds. I'm just going to go on to my messages again. Oh, here I am. Here I am. Okay. Order for Ducks back. I follow McGregor. Like we bit bunkers. You know yourself, mate. You know, there's nobody else. You don't need to follow anybody else. If you want to know about the Ukraine, McGregor or Ritter, they're your 2 go-tos. You know, you're going to get a fair thingy. You know what I mean? So even them, even when Biden was in, right? I don't know if it was Scott Ritter or if it was McGregor. The FBI went through his door because they didn't like the fact that he was telling everybody the truth about Ukraine. Honest to God, you can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Like the establishment, the deep state, go out of their way to push their rhetoric. Like it's scary. Like they are a scary bunch. Yeah, next one, Emil. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. You know what I mean? You know, it's, you know, and I'll tell you what's here. I'll tell you what, right? I'm going to tell you this, guys. You know, see this Israel and Palestine carry on. It's put us back. See Northern Ireland, it's put us back a wee bit. So it has. I'll be honest with you. Like, I honestly can say with my hand in my heart, the amount of times went by now since the peace. And Gob's there, he'll know. He's a soldier. Probably served in Northern Ireland. I'm going to say too much because it's not my place, but you know, he'll know exactly. Anybody that's been in the army or knows Northern Ireland, lives in Northern Ireland, knows exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And like, you know, we've been at peace for a wee while now, and we're sort of getting used to it. You know, we've got our bickering over the flags and the parades, and you know, we're always going to have them sort of problems. You know what I mean? But they're getting smaller and smaller, and you know, people are starting to realize that, you know, there is no real difference between you and me just because you're a Protestant, I'm a Catholic, whatever, you know what I mean? There's no real division there, you know what I mean? There's no difference in our DNA and stuff like that. And then when we see the threat of ISIS, you know, 10 years ago, whenever they were beheading people and they weren't caring what religion you were, you know, you were just a Christian, you were gone. You know, if you were a different type of Muslim, you were gone. If you were a Kurd, you were gone. And, you know, looking at that from afar, you know, would make people like us in Northern Ireland think twice about what we were actually bickering about. And, you know, yeah, it was slow, but it was moving. That's the point I want to make. It was something that was moving forward for the first time ever. You know, we'd never had a situation where Protestants and Catholics were starting to talk. You know, you see at the Tommy Robinson demo, Republican Ireland flags and Ulster flags. And you see the video I done about Stormer when he went to Northern Ireland. I think that one got a good 100,000 views. But, you know, for the first time in the history of Northern Ireland, we see the tricolour and the red hand Ulster together. First time ever. And Stormer goes over to Northern Ireland and calls everybody a racist and didn't even think to mention it. And you know why he didn't mention it? Because it was a Tommy Robinson rally, you know. But you know what? It's never going to go away. The first Ulster flag and the first Irish flag ever to be seen together, side by side, under one banner, under one cause, was at a Tommy Robinson rally. So you know what, guys? You know, Always remember that. It makes me smile. It does. It makes me smile because not everybody sees the significance of it. I don't even think Tommy Robinson sees the significance of it, but it will go down in history. It will be in part of the history books whenever we do have peace, because our children and our grandchildren are going to look back at us and think we were fucking nuts. They will. There's no two ways about it. I know that. I know in my heart our children and grandchildren are going to look back in the Northern Ireland scenario that time and seen what the hunger strikers did, you know, how committed they were, and, you know, the people that died and the people that went to prison, and, you know, the uprising in the 1960s. And they're going to think, why? You know, they're going to understand it, but they're not going to understand why it went on for so long. They're not going to understand the division that went on, you know. And when people talk about Northern Ireland and the walls and the peace walls in the future, it's going to be an eye-opener. You know, there's going to be YouTube channels doing, did you know back in 1990 there was peace in Northern Ireland? Did you know that they were, you know, that'll be that kind of thing. And, you know, people will be like, oh, wow, you know what I mean? That's what I personally think. And, you know, the good thing is we are going in that direction. But what I'm trying to say about the Palestine and Israel thing, guys, it has held us back. It really has, because there's another wee bit of a division there now, because you've got half the country supporting Palestine, half the country supporting Israel. You know what I mean? And it's sort of, you know, I'm not going to say too much, but it's been a bit of a problem. Like, oh, Nate Vanda, thanks for popping in. Dearest Freedom Dad and chat, I gotta go. I got an early night. Okay, Vanda, you have a good night. Or have a good night, night. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll catch up tomorrow in the comments, no doubt. We've got bigger problems. We've got bunkers. I know. And just, well, Gobster's here, like, you know what I mean? I was like the chat because all our YouTube, you know, because he's an influencer. He's got, you know, got a wee bit of pull in that. And, you know, I just like to talk to him directly about Scotland and that, you know what I mean? And, you know, there's a part of me can see, you know what I mean, the future of Britain, if England isn't careful, a divide in the Union. And I can see a divide and I can see a coming together, you know, and it excites me a wee bit and it breaks my heart as well, you know, because I don't want to see the Union getting split up. But if England isn't careful, they're going to leave the rest of the United Kingdom no choice but to split up, you know, if England doesn't get its act together, because Westminster, Houses of Parliament, the Houses of Lord, the Buckingham Palace, it's all in England, you know. We have in Scotland got like a Scottish heritage where there is that independence thing, and it was only 40, they got 49% the last time. It was very, very close. And then we've got the Northern Ireland thing and the Ireland thing, you know, and that's what's stopping that going forward, to be honest with you, is Sinn Féin in Ireland. You know, if Sinn Féin in Ireland aren't making an absolute mess of it all, I think the Catholics in Northern Ireland would be pretty much shouting for a United Ireland. But I don't think the Catholics in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, run an All Ireland, because they see what the other part of Ireland's starting to look like, you know. And I wouldn't be surprised if Northern Ireland and Scotland come together as one state one day, you know. Hopefully Ireland comes along with it. It would be a really good solution, Gobster. Yeah, it would not be great, you know what I mean? And not like, if we could find a way of not completely losing the British Union or losing the pound or anything like that, but it would be nice for Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland and even Wales to come together, you know, if England doesn't sort itself out, guys. If, you know, because no matter what, Scotland will go on their own. Ireland will go on their own. Wales can, and quite possibly will go on their own. It's up to the people. I don't know how people are going to be in 20 years' time when they see what's happening. You know, we can see what's happening in London. We can see what's happening in Sheffield, Rochdale, Rotherham, Preston, Halifax, Bristol. You know, you need to be a blind man not to see what's going on in the country, in Britain today, and how the councils and the government don't seem to care. And that's quite scary for some people looking at that. And, you know, there is people talking. People are talking, you know, and I am here. And bear believe this, let this be a warning to all you unionists in Scotland. If there is a push, if there is ever another independence vote, and they promise not to join the European Union, I don't think the Union are going to hold up this time, because the last time it was 49-51, you know, and that's when things were, people didn't know about the grooming gangs and didn't know about Khan having 12 years and what the damage he's done to London. You know, this is before we had Hamza Yusuf shouting about everybody being white and how terrible it is. You know, so people have wakened up. People in Scotland are seeing what's happening in England. They're seeing what's happening in Ireland. Yes, we've got our own far left lunatics in Scotland. Of course we do, the SNP, but they're fizzling away. They're dying away to nothing because of their extreme, and because they tried to destroy the country and divide the country up, you know what I mean? But I do think a lot of unionists are starting to get a wee bit itchy feet, guys, you know? I really do, guys. You know, that's what I think. I think that's a possibility. Because I don't know if you'll maybe want to go down that route, have a wee chat about that on one of your videos. It's always something to talk about, to think about, you know? Because, you know, let's be honest, the Scottish people nearly done it before. You know, if there is a threat coming from England, I don't see any doubt that Scotland will go for independence and break away ties with the Union. And then I think Ireland, Northern Ireland and Ireland will start getting itchy feet as well and thinking, you know, maybe if Scotland is successful, maybe they'll start thinking about something like that as well, rather than have Westminster having the power of moving people about everywhere, you know, because they're having problems and overflowing in England with their hotels. They're starting to push people up to Scotland. They're starting to push people over to Ireland. You know, it won't be long before the Scottish people and Irish people are saying, hold on a wee minute, you know, we didn't sign up for this, you know. So yeah, get back to your comments, guys. I'll go on. I do go on. I'm sorry. I should stop and have a wee hang. Night Vanda. Right, okay, I've been caught up with that. No border down the Irish Sea. Yep. Glasgow. Yep. Scotland too. Edinburgh, Dundee. Yep. Sweeney. Yep. Think it is. Yep. Creeping up like a pig. Well, you know, it's they're quite extreme words, guys, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? We have to be very, very careful, you know. And we've got to understand that, you know, it's very difficult not to tar and feather everybody with the same brush, you know what I mean, when so many bad things are happening. But I'm always going to say this, you know, I'm not going to apologize for none of this. Like, I always going to say, just like Judge Pickles said many years ago, he'd rather let 10 guilty men go free than jail one innocent man. And I also use that sort of concept by saying I'd rather deport 10 good men than let one bad man stay. And I'm sorry that might offend people. I'm sorry if you think that's not the Christian way, but the Christian way for me is looking after our own people first and foremost. And I know some people may think, you know, that's far right or that's a nationalist way. You know, when I'm thinking of my own people, I'm thinking of my child. I'm thinking of my partner. I'm thinking of my grandchildren when my child has children in 20 years, you know. I'm thinking about my best friend's child. I'm thinking about my foster brother's children. I'm thinking about my nieces and my nephews' children. You know, this is why it's so important never to falter, guys. Even in the face of being called a racist and far right, there's nothing wrong to protect your own. There's nothing wrong to love and protect your own. When your own are being under threat, when there's men targeting our children the way they're being targeting, 250,000 children, I can't say this enough, 50 cities that we know of, you know, 1,400 girls in one town, you know. When was this normalized? When was this kind of speech and these kind of things that I'm saying right now just flippantly, you know, there was a time if somebody had came online and said something like this, people would be calling them a liar or just sitting with their jaw on their chest. But we're sort of, can you see how we're just getting accustomed to it? Let's go. I'm going down for a smoke, guys. You know, so let's have a wee look at the painting. Oh, I'm around this way, aren't I? Hopefully my battery's holding up. So yeah, undercoat on these two doors. Banister's done, guys. Banister's all done. Well, this banister still needs to get a bit of a sand. I've found a couple of wee holes I needed to sand. But still a wee bit tacky. Dog fucking boy's hair. Still a bit tacky. But yeah, looks good, guys. Looks good. So it does. Getting there. Oh, that's dried. Oh, that's nice. That's nice and sweet. Yeah. I'm happy with that. And the windowsill. Yeah, that looks good. Nice shine. Nice shine of it. Maybe give that an RB coat. That's the wee bit there. So I'll give that a wee rub. So well, that's all been done. Yeah, so it's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time getting my head right to get to this stage. And hello, my baby girl. Come on, come and say hello to your followers. Come here, my guys. Come here. Oh, my girl. Oh, she's not let me here. Oh, look at her blue eyes. Isn't she beautiful? She's my fur baby. Yes, you're my fur baby girl. Yep, come here, boy. Come on, son. There's my boy. He's 14. 14 precious years with me. This boy has been there through so many troubles with me. Always been there, never faltered. So, yeah. So the kitchen is a mess, so I'm not going to show you it. But no, all good, guys. All good. I hope you liked the night's live. It was a wee bit of a laugh, you know what I mean? We ought to take the piss of these guys, you know what I mean? Have to. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be content creators if we didn't. If we missed an opportunity like that, I'd be disappointed, you know. And it's all a bit of fun. And I'm quite sure they'll probably come at me. If they see this, they'll probably try and come at me with something, you know. But that is what it is, you know what I mean? Thick-skinned and all that, guys. I am. But, you know, we put ourselves out there to be criticised, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. You know, I criticise Nigel Farage. I'm not going to miss anybody out, you know what I mean? No chance. No, it doesn't work like that. Sorry for smoking and hanging, guys. How did I see my comments? Oh, aye. Top chat. A lot of work done there, Freedom Dad, on the timber works. Cheers, mate. It was a lot of undercoating, a lot of sanding, a lot of filling. So what I normally do, I normally put an undercoat. I normally sand, and then I put an undercoat down, and then that normally lets me see all the grooves and the little holes or anything. Then I fill, sand, undercoat again, you know, and then gloss, you know, and you normally get a decent finish. You could help her when her family were cheering it on as she cried. Don't get that one. Don't get that one, Mono. I watched an 11-year-old girl get married today on. Oh man, don't! I've seen them as well. Have you seen the one where the guy? He's about 60, trailing. She was about 7 or 8 or 9 years old, and he's pulling her away from her family. It's heartbreaking. Fucking heartbreaking, man. Yeah, I get that now. I understand what you're saying now, Will Ferry. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was in his 40s. Yeah, well, I saw that too. Who could help her when her family were cheering it on as she cried? Jeez, oh man. But the problem is, guys, is it's poverty. You know, the family will be getting paid money, you know, and there's no excuse. Of course, there's no excuse, but, you know, I think the way these people, they hope to have a daughter so they can sell the daughter off so they can help feed the rest of the family. You know, it's a different way of life, guys, a different way of life, like. Oh no, Weebix, it's horrible, the Weebix on. I'm finding X difficult. I am finding X really difficult, guys. It's non-stop violence. Like, I don't know why, but I don't know if it's the same for yous, you know, and it's not people I'm following, or maybe it is, maybe they're reposting it, I don't know. But like, an awful lot of fights, an awful lot of really brutal fights, a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of women getting hurt, horrible stuff, like really horrible stuff. I would rather die. I know. Yeah, it's kids fighting a lot. Yeah, quite brutal. It's quite, society's become quite brutal, and you know we've seen it coming because of even before what we're dealing with now. We've seen the violence rise because of the online gaming and the the Grand Theft Autos early on, Grand Theft Autos, you know, guys were like controlling characters that were trailing women out of cars and beating women. This is on the gaming. And, you know, I think we all knew back then, 20, 30 years ago, where it was going to lead. We've seen evidence of kids becoming violent after playing these games. And that's just our own kids. And now when you throw in the mix of everything else that's going on, the struggles, poverty, people struggling to get by, kids aren't getting all the perks that they should be getting, families aren't going on family holidays anymore. So that has repercussions down, you know, that makes families struggle mentally as well as financially. Men feeling that they're not providing properly, they feel like they're letting their family down. That creates all sorts of issues, guys, you know what I mean? And it's difficult. X is a challenge, but I don't get to see that very often, to be honest. Yeah, your best Gobster, I do struggle, and I did find there was some really bad stuff and it would affect me, and I never knew. I was watching stuff, and then the next day my mood would go down, and I would be coming on here saying to my followers I'm not feeling it and not doing good today and that. And then I'd be watching my video back, and then I'd realise that every time I spoke about something really horrific or something that's seen on X and done a video about it, then my mood would go down, and then I realised what it was. I was just getting triggered and I didn't realise it. Subconsciously getting triggered. Right, let's go. Come on, cheer up when you get... I'll come down and get you. Well, we'll see. I know Katie's probably watching. But what time's that, guys? Yeah, we're good. Or 20 odd minutes or so. I like to do about 2 hours, guys. You know what I mean? A wee bit later one tonight, but all good. So my mate phoned me today, and he was like, "Are we doing another meeting?" I was like, "I'm fucking painting right now, man." He goes, "No, it's going to snow." And I was like, "I'm up for it, like, you know." And he was like, "This time we'll go my way." He was like, I was like an A-bar. You know what I mean? I always make sure I take a break. You must look after yourself. Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, 100%, mate. You know, like triggering like trauma, PTSD, you know, I'm quite sure quite a lot of us are touched with, you know, especially with the surfaces like the armed forces. Like, I'll be honest with you, know, I have a wee bit of experience with that with my foster dad. And he was in the UDR. Well, he was in the Scottish Fusiliers. And then he served in Northern Ireland and met my mum, my foster mum, and stayed in Northern Ireland, Scotsman, and then had kids in a ring, integrated, well, you know, integrated, you know what I mean? Stayed in Northern Ireland, you know, in our areas. And that came with all sorts of problems, like, you know what I mean? Because obviously he was in constant threat, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly what he done or who he was, and it's not my place to talk about anything like that, like, but he always carried his own bit, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was challenging. But so he joined the UDR after he settled in Northern Ireland, and then, you know, he done since he was 16, and then right through the kids were older and all that, and then he left and he lost his way a wee bit, you know, had an affair and all that, and, you know, it was all down to leaving the army. I know it's no excuse and all that, but, you know, it did sort of destroy a family a wee bit, you know what I mean, and a breakup, and, you know, thankfully they got it back together, you know, but it was difficult for him leaving the army, and I didn't really understand the struggles that he was going through at the time, because I was just a teenager, you know what I mean? I was young, early 20s, in and out of jail, dealing with my own stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's difficult, mate. I know how hard it is for guys like you, guys like Paz, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's most guys go on, suffer on her. You don't complain, or there's like, what do you say? How do you even start the conversation? Sometimes some of these guys are hard men. These like Gobster, Paz, you know, these guys are soldiers, man. You know, you don't, like, back in the day, being a soldier wasn't like fucking the day. You know, you had to have your wits about you. You had to be fit. It was all strong, fit, strapping men, you know what I mean? And, you know, then you had all the inner politics that went on in amongst the match. Excuse me. It wasn't for the faint-hearted, our soldiers back in the day. And then you've got the Northern Ireland conflict, you know what I mean? Getting whacked, being targeted by civilians, and, you know, not knowing who your enemy are, your enemy having no uniform. that alone, psychologically, the damage that does to you, you know, coming out of a barracks, having a zigzag, coming out of the back of a Land Rover, not knowing if you're going to be targeting, seeing your mates getting killed and blown up and having to pick pieces of men up. It's horrific what the men in Northern Ireland have went through. And then we have the situation with the SAS and Loughgall. You know, these IRA men were an active unit, okay? I know a wee bit about it, you know, because I'm into all that. I know that, like, growing up, I read books and studied everything. I know every atrocity that's happened in Northern Ireland. And, you know, I can honestly say with my hand on my heart that these men that have died under the gun of the SAS would be rolling in their graves right now, that their relatives and their supporters today are behaving the way they're behaving and trying to make victims out of the men who were soldiers. Like, if I'm dying for my country and getting shot by the SAS as an IRA, I would be fucking proud of that. If I was a young man growing up as a Republican and somebody would say to me, oh, what happens if you get whacked by the SAS on an active unit, doing an active, you know, you'd be fucking like, that's the way I want to go. You know, it's a fucking badge of honor. That's how these men think, you know. And now we're fucking 25, 30 years later, you've got like, oh, poor them. Oh, the SAS should never have shot them. What? Are you off your nut? Jeez, oh. That's nuts, absolutely nuts. And then we've got the reparations for slavery for fucking hundreds of years ago. And David Lammy's wanting to give trillions of our money away to fucking relatives of their great-great-great-grand fucking fathers who were, I don't even know how they can go back that far and decide that we should be giving money to Davy over there because Davy's great-great-great-granddad wasn't fucking enslaved. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to start digging up my family history and see if there's anything, because I can go back 4 generations because of my family Bible. I'm going to find out if there's any way at all that maybe there was maybe some sort of, maybe a half caste or something, or somebody in my family, because like if there's money be getting given out, everybody's been going to jump on the bandwagon. You know, everybody's going to jump on this bandwagon. It's nuts. We don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean? They'd be forking out for something that people have done that's been dead hundreds of years. They've been dead hundreds of years. I don't even think there's relatives left of these people. Oh, it's nuts. It's crazy. We live in a crazy world, guys. You know? Yeah, well, I think that's exactly what's happened to my foster dad, Gobster, being abandoned. I think that was a thingy. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad when you give so much. You know, because I don't think people understand the Northern Ireland situation, the Falklands situation, or even the Iraq situation. You know, and then all the other operations around the world that a lot of people don't really know about. You know what I mean? That not just the SAS, but the elite soldiers. There were other branches as well that were involved in special operations around the world. It wasn't just the SAS or the SBS. You know what I mean? And you know, there is. You know, there was nothing there. These men, what these men seen in their line of duty was they were expected to deal with it. You know what I mean? You're meant to know like I say, everybody's different. We're all different. You know, if some people can deal with one thing, other people can't deal with another. But, you know, they're assuming that every single person, you're meant to be strong enough to be able to deal with what you see and deal with. Because you're a soldier, it's assumed that you'll be okay going along with a bin bag, trying to pick up pieces of your mates, you know, making sure you don't leave anything trying to get each part of your mate to get, you know, in the one bag. So you've got, you know, and I don't think you understand. This was like quite common. This isn't like a one-off situation I'm talking about like soldiers having to pick up parts of their own men, you know what I mean? Not just in mainland and, you know, both sides, guys. And then you've got the explosions like you know, Enniskillen, you know, and Omagh, and you know, Brighton Hotel, you know, and then the horses in Hyde Park, you know, we could go on and on, the atrocities, the things that's happened where soldiers have had to go and like face the horrors of unimaginable things that you just could not imagine. When they're signing up, it was back in the day, it was see the world, you know, join the army, see the world. That's what it was, you know. They didn't say they were going to throw you in the back streets of Belfast where you were going to be targeted by faceless men from dark windows, you know, or you'd be, like I've just said, dealing with explosions, you know, and horrific how our government have treated our soldiers. Absolutely horrific, guys. There's this is a problem with the far left. This is a problem with Labour. You know, all these problems will go away, and it's okay saying, well, in 4 years' time, if reform get in, anybody that's caught up in all this nonsense right now will be excommunicated, whatever the word is, like Trump has, where ye pardon people. I've got no doubt that if any SAS men do go to jail on their Labour Party, the Reform Party, or whoever right-wing party comes in next, will release them men. I've got no doubt about it, but that's not the point. The whole point is these men now, at the ages that they are at, who served and give everything for their country, took orders from their commanders, took unalive bad men, really dangerous bad men that were killing their friends, are now having to go and probably face a court. You know, I know myself that there's IRA men over there scratching their heads right now going, that's not right. I tell you that now for sure. There'll be IRA men right now disgusted. They will. Because it is pretty much, you know, what are you trying to say about these guys that the SAS killed? You know what I mean? They were just innocent victims. You know, are you not proud that they were soldiers, that they were part of the movement, they were part of the resistance? You know, that's what I think, personally. You know, personally, I also think it's just their relatives trying to make a bit of money off the back of their I'm going to say it, heroism. Because these men could have been anything. You know, these men decided to fight for their country, and whether you agree with them or whether you don't agree with them, you can't take that away from them. The same as the hunger strikers. Whether you agree with them or whether you don't agree with them, these guys starved to death for what they believed in. You can't take that away from them, guys, you know. It's very complex and very difficult subject to talk about, especially for me, who I am. No one cares, yeah. They are discarded like used up hankies, yeah. I have buried 13 of my muckers. Yeah. And the sad thing as well, Gobster, not only are you burying them, but you're watching them decline. You're watching men who should be lifted high on pedestals, and they should be, you know, they should not have to pay anything in life. They should not be having to pay council tax. They should be getting free accommodation. They should be getting free meals. That's as far as I'm concerned. Any soldier, ex-soldier, should not have to pay anything anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, that's what I believe, you know. But you know, who am I? Fuck's sake, what you know? And it's not even that crazy, is it? Is it really that bad? They give every ex-soldier a voucher for Asda or Morrison's where they can get 1 meal a day free. Is that such a bad idea? You know, they give every serving soldier a voucher to go on holiday anywhere they want in any Butlins or resort a week away every year. Would that be difficult to do for every serving soldier? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Not when we're giving 111 million to mosques, you know, 50 million to Syria, you know. Makes me angry. It makes me angry. Honestly, guys, it makes me so angry because, you know, it's not that difficult to get it right. It really isn't. I've got this other wee phone here, don't I? Sit back, wee touch. Okay. Yeah, James. I don't know what happened to it. Disappeared, I think. Yeah. Every Christmas Day night, I'm always out helping homeless vets. Well, Gobster, at the end of the day, if there's any of my community that are near you, I know you don't like giving locations and all that, you know what I mean, but I'm quite sure there'll be plenty of people that would help you, you know what I mean, and get involved with you, you know, so I wouldn't be too shy, and, you know, we've got some really good patriots, some good followers, like, you know, and they're like, we're there for them, bringing them content and, you know, letting them know you're on your own. We're all thinking the same thing, and I know it's a nightmare, and it's good just to get it out and about, you know. The same, they want to help us as well. So, you know, I would get do something like that, get people involved, you know what I mean, get other people doing it in other areas, you know what I mean, branch out. You will get you, I'll support you, and my followers would support you, you know. Any soldier being abandoned is criminal, yeah. Pains me to say, this country is now rotten to the core. Yep, Super J. You've got 2 days a year. Yeah. Yeah, that's the point as well. Just talking about the army, it was like something that Arthur said today about the army, and he was saying like, you know, half the army, you know, and people wouldn't, you know, what he's got to understand is that who will be the army? This is what you don't think. When you talk about the army in 20 years and 30 years time, who do you think is going to be in the army in 20 or 30 years time? You know, and then make your decisions about whose side the army are going to be on. You know, like I say, I don't think about the day. I'm constantly thinking about 20 and 30 years time all the time. That's the way I work. That's the way I move forward. That's why I do these videos. I think about where my wee girl's going to be when I'm not here. You know, 30 years time, I doubt I'll be here. 20 years time, I fucking doubt it. But fingers crossed, touch wood, you never know. God willing, please, Lord. You know what I mean? At least the 20. I'd love to see her 20s. You know what I mean? But God might have other plans. Maybe I'll be a hindrance to my daughter, and God might have other plans for me and my daughter. So we'll just see what He's got in store for us. So we will. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the army. It's just like us paramilitaries. You know, it is a brother thing, brothers and sisters. It is. It's a family. When you've got each other's backs, you know, and you know who's in front of you, and you know who's behind you. There's a love. There's a bond. There's something there that people will never experience unless you've been in the army. Yeah, there's a lot, like a lot, and I honestly say, guys, like anyone, you could do a better job. You know, I don't. You know, it's not hard to get it right, and I don't know if many have seen my video today about the way they're behaving in Parliament. I've sort of had enough of all that carry on. It's starting to really annoy me, and I'm going to start calling it out a wee bit more often. I'm going to start showing videos and showing it the way it should be shown. It disgusting behaviour from grown men who are running a country, you know, and we're sitting in a situation right now with hundreds of thousands of children being affected. Like I say, I'm going to keep on saying it, 1,400 girls in Rotherham, 50 cities around the country, all by men who aren't born and bred or from parents that are born and bred in this country. And, you know, I'm not even bringing religion into it, you know, that doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference to me, you know. The thing is if these men hadn't come into the country, or if the parents of these men hadn't come into this country, them children would have been safe. You know, they would have been safe. And that's the point I keep getting across. You know, there's no price that you can put on our children's safety. I'm not sitting here going to be like, what's the word? What's in my P's and Q's when it comes to protection of my daughter. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be scared to speak my views because our Labour government are running about threatening everybody and scaring everybody by putting people in prison for speaking, for saying things, you know what I mean? You know, that's the bottom line, guys. You know, we've all got to think ahead. We've got to think the future. And I love you guys because we are all Generation X, and quite a lot of you are kids that are grown up. But I know quite a lot of you have got grandchildren that you will be worried about. But the fact that these are here, it's amazing. The fact that these are taking the time to comment and spend the time with me and talk about things and be a part of a community. Guys, that's you doing a lot more than most people. You've got to remember that. You know, you're going about me doing my videos, and you thank me, you know what I mean? But honestly, it doesn't. I keep saying this. Me and people like Gobster, we're nothing without yous. We're yous are as big as this as we are. You know, I'm speaking for yous. Gobster speaks for yous, but we're just the same. There's no fucking difference at all. Believe you me. There's no difference at all. I've just got that wee bit of more thingy because of my experience with prison, children's homes. I know the law inside out. I've got good lawyers. I know my human rights, you know what I mean? And yeah, it makes a wee bit of a difference when you've got experience of prison and you know what you've got to look at, what they're using to threaten you with, and it does make it easier. So personally, guys, I honestly believe that in the situation that Britain's in, people like me, that if they didn't come out and do what I'm doing, then more shame on them. You know, if you've got the capability of doing this, you don't be sitting on your hands. You know what I mean? You can't sit on your hands. We can't. I wouldn't have my daughter looking back at me and having it any other way. I would not have my daughter looking back and not seeing nothing from me. You know, her looking back thinking, when did it all change? When did the things go wrong in Britain? Oh, it would have been when I was just born. Well, what was my dad doing? You know what I mean? My dad was in the pub getting drunk, saying it was nothing to do with him because it wasn't on my doorstep. Nah, it's not happening. You know, I live in a really nice place with the kids, and I'm not kidding you on. Wee girls all run about here, the wee boys, like, I mean, tiny, like, I'll be honest with you, like, it wouldn't be my kids, you know what I mean? Honestly, like, I'm just fucking no way. You know, and I know every single one of them. They're all my mates' kids, and you know what I mean. They all call me either Gypsy, Mark, or Sparky. You know what I mean? And it's just amazing. It's an amazing community. Amazing. It's good to see them. You know what I mean? And obviously, I talk to my mates. You're not worried and all that, and they're like, no, if they don't go this far, they're not allowed to cross that road and all that. And it's great. And the park in the summer is full of kids, and it's brilliant. You know what I mean? And not everybody's got that. Not everybody's got that, and that's the thing. People, it's not until it's gone. It's not until you're saying to your kids, you're not going to the park. I don't want you going near that park. It's not until you're starting to say things like that you realize things are fucking changing. You know what I mean? And when you're telling your kids not to be going to the park, like that one in Falkirk that I went to, where the girl was taken out of the park and went through a 10-hour ordeal by somebody from a hotel. He was bailed right back to the hotel. And the people in the area, 50-50 of who knew about it and who didn't know about it. You know, 50% of the people were utterly shocked and astonished that there wasn't more media coverage. There wasn't more warning. They were saying to me, they're still in the park. The kids are still. It's a big park. And when I went to the park, I could see the hotel. You could see 2 floors of the hotel looking right into the park. And this is where our kids go. This is where our adolescent kids go. This is where we used to go to drink and have our first kiss and, you know, our girlfriends and all in the bushes and all that. And, you know, that's where our teenagers go. You know, when they say they're staying at their mates, they're not. They're in the park. You know what I mean? And that's part of our society, you know, and that's really, really dangerous now. Really, really dangerous. And that's Falkirk, which is about 20 miles away from me. You know, this isn't England. This is Scotland. You know, so I'm seeing where people are now telling their kids not to be going to the park. I'm seeing where people are shocked that the police aren't being more proactive and letting parents know that this is a second child from this park that's been thingied. And like, people are absolutely shocked by that, you know, and that's why I went down there, because I wanted to find out, you know, because I'm here and I'm like, what? Fucking, why is that not all over the news? You know, so being a content creator, I needed to find that one out. Falkirk, I could not go. And I did. I went to the park. I had to walk around and spoke to the locals. And what I'm telling you is what happened, you know. And like I say, a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people knew everything, and they were so fucking angry. So angry, you know what I mean? And this is the damage that the silence does. The silence that where they're trying to protect the community because, you know, it's predominantly Muslims. It's predominantly this part of Pakistan, you know, and the government really don't want you to know that. They're trying to protect that community. But it's just, we go back to releasing 10 guilty men to save one innocent man. You know, we're back to that scenario. You know, there shouldn't be one girl suffering in this country, guys. There's no reason why we should have any children suffering. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not that intelligent, guys. Like, you know what I mean? And like I say, I'm no, like, done all the qualifications, went through school and all that. It's just fucking common sense. You know what I mean? It's all logical stuff. I'm just going to run through your comments. Going to wrap it up. 2 hours, guys. Going to get a wee smoke. It's all bungers, yep. I've only watched it a couple of times recently. It's a pantomime. Yeah, I like this bloke just so bloody. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I appreciate that. By Gobster, is that your way, son? Thank you so much for coming on. I'm absolutely honoured. I really am. Like, I'm guys. I'm Gobster's one of a good YouTuber. Like, you know what I mean? We need to stand together now more than ever. Yeah, definitely. 100%. And everybody from all walks of life, all colours, all religions, all need to stand up against the extremism of the far left, because they're not doing any of us any favours. No, they really aren't. Like, Sorry, Aurora, I am finishing, but you know, it's been 2 hours, and I do think it's 10:30, you know what I mean? But I need to give Katie a phone. I need to phone a couple of people as well. Through the swamp to their side without getting eaten by crocs. And it's all planned. That's the scary part. I'm sick and tired of peaceful protests while hotel dwellers walk around in gangs, giving it the big one. Yeah. Everybody's starting to get a wee bit sick and tired, and people are starting to say, "What's it all about? Why do we bother?" It's one in like young Arthur said today. You know, he got it bang on. You know, we're there at these protests singing Hallelujah. You know, sorry guys, we're sitting there singing Hallelujah and all that. And the government aren't even looking. They don't need to look. Let them get on with it. Let them have their day. It doesn't make any difference. What difference does it make in their day? That's the way the government. They're so insignificant, you know. But I think it's going to change. That's going to change because of the numbers. When Tommy Robinson gets out, touch wood, he gets out safely, right? When that day comes, the summertime, and they don't put him away for even more time because of the terrorism charges he's got when he was trying to leave the country, and they wanted to look at his phone and he said no. The numbers that are going to come out onto the street, and also if anything bad happens, guys, and I don't like saying this, I don't like tempting fate, but if anything does bad happen, that's going to make people come out as well. But I reckon this summer you're going to see the biggest numbers ever coming out onto the street. And doesn't matter if we sing songs, doesn't matter if we sing Hallelujah. The amount of numbers is going to make the government and the people, everybody in the government, not just Labour Party, are going to sit up and pay attention. And no longer are all the newscasts are going to pretend that there was only this amount there and there was only that amount there, and no longer is Owen Jones going to be able to lie to everybody and say there was only 40,000 people at the Tommy Robinson rally when there was 100,000 at their counter rally, when it was more 5,000 at their counter rally and 100,000 at the Tommy Robinson rally. Them days are going to be well gone. So I've got no doubt about it that when the summertime comes, we're going to see a huge turnout at some of these rallies up and down the country. And I think we're going to see some changes. We are at breaking point now. We are going to see people suffering. NHS and councils are going to start breaking down, crumbling. Surfaces. People are going to stop paying poll tax or not poll tax. People are going to stop paying council tax, and all the millionaires are leaving. All the millionaires, all the big money spenders, all the big taxation ones are all gone. We're losing all our best nurses. We're losing all our best professionals. That's all going to come at once, and we're going to see that. And I don't know what that picture's like. I don't know what's ahead, but it's not good. It's not good for us, and it's not good for the politicians. But we need to be ready. People like me, people like you, people like Gobster, people like Paz, people like British Slaughter. I'm saying British Slaughter a couple of times because I left him out of the list I done last night, and I'm disappointed with myself. Because British Slaughter, in my books, is one of the best YouTubers on YouTube right now from our side. You know, I have been throwing it about in my head to do a top 10, but I'm too scared to, you know what I mean? I would love to do a top 10 of the right-wing YouTubers, but I'll probably end up offending a few people, and I just don't want to go down that road, you know what I mean, guys? You can imagine, you know what I mean? But I suppose if we done it in categories and all that, you know what I mean, by subs and all that, who's the biggest subs? Because Mark Tussey's out there by far. We know Mark Tussey's that far out there, he's mainstream, all right? So I'm not going to count him as a YouTuber. Right? He's gone all professional, man. He's got a team, you know what I mean, a news desk and all sorts of people working for him. I would concentrate And it's nothing to do with nothing personal. I'm Martucci, got nothing against Martucci. He's a great patriot, and you know all the rest of it. He's a clickbaiter, but that's that's a joke. It's a laugh. It's nothing more. And you know, he does take things a wee bit serious, and it is funny that he takes things a bit serious, and it just makes him look even fucking stupider sometimes the way he behaves. You know what I mean? You know, he's like an old granddad. You know what I mean? You know, I'm fleeing to Scotland, and he's claiming this and claiming that, and you know, he gives the headline that this is happening, and then you click on the video and you're waiting for it to happen, and it's like, what the fuck? That's not nothing. That's not what happened. That's not the right title of this video. Did I get that wrong? Or you're going back in your history, see if you clicked the wrong video. Things like that, you know, it's a noise up. That's all it is a noise up, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not a crime to clickbait, guys, you know. But yeah, I would love to do a top 10, but like at the minute, I have to say, you know, British Slaughter is up there. 110% content, what he's bringing, the way he brings it, the information that he brings, how it benefits people. Everything, he ticks all the boxes. He ticks all the boxes. Easy to listen to, comes across in an articulate way. He caters to quite a lot of people from all social areas, you know what I mean? So, yeah, without a doubt, guys, I know if you are following him and watching his videos like I do, you'll be like, yes, Freedom Dad, you're bang on. You are bang on. Paz, he's plodding away. He's never changed. He has changed a wee bit, but he's still bringing good content, precise, decent information, and it does exactly what it says on the box. You know what I mean? Same as Gobster, does exactly what it says in the box. No clickbait, no messing about. And other guys, you know what I mean? There is a lot of right-wingers have sort of become right-wing where they've been sort of falling in that line. And I don't really like that, to be honest with you, because I have watched a lot of YouTubers change because Tommy Robinson's supporters have grew. Whereas when Tommy Robinson wasn't getting support from America and Elon Musk, a lot of YouTubers weren't going near Tommy Robinson. You know, they weren't, guys. You know what I mean? They were scared too because they were getting so much hate and they wanted their channel to grow. And now Tommy Robinson, the coins changed, and like there's a lot of support came online for Tommy Robinson. So now these guys are changing their tune. And I don't really dig that. You know what I mean? I don't really dig it. But it's not personal, and I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm not going to name anybody. That's just a wee personal thing between me that I don't particularly like. And that's all that is, guys, you know. Was that Calendar Park? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah. We Bix Bonkers, yep. Kept that bloody quiet. Gotta go. Good show. See you all again. Stay safe. Right, Steve, right? Steve, right in the afternoon. Sorry, mate. I bet you get that a lot. If that's your real name, you know what I mean? Night, Steve, right? Bye, Steve. Later, Freedom Dad. Chat, we are the people. All right, John. Absolutely, mate. You are bang on the money. Thank you. Night, everybody. Catch you all next time. Respect. We have to bring the vampires out into the light of truth. They want you thick and thick. Yeah. You're bang on there. Thick. You're right. I like that. It's the first time I've heard that. I really do like that. So I do. Look at that in a minute. Night, John. Remember, don't look back in anger. When they bombed around the concert, they were telling us not to be angry. Yeah, good point. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving the UK, but they are British. Yeah, a lot of British men are leaving and taking their families and all that. Paul Thorpe's got his kids out, you know what I mean? These lives are addictive. I can't leave. Thanks, mate. Thanks. I'm going to go soon, I promise. Outdoor people can be draining. I have a desk you can borrow. I will do the weather report. It will be simple shit today, shit tomorrow, shit. I have not had a dry gusset in this weather for weeks. We've got snow coming, guys, so I'll be building a snowman. Or even my farts are dancing in this shite weather. It's not getting any better. Just don't be eating yellow snow. Some women just got done for sending someone a fart. Yeah, I've seen that. That's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You know, between I hate forgetting his name, man. The guy done the pug with the Hitler salute. Count Dracula. Good guy, you know what I mean? Love to get him on, so he would be funny. And yeah, but I'm gonna knock that in the head, guys. Night, James. I'm just going to say everybody's dropping off anyway. So good night, guys. Thank you all so much. This is just a wee live. They make up from last night because I didn't read the comments out. And yep. And I know somebody's just saying, don't pay attention to all blah blah blah. I do pay attention to people's criticisms, and I do try and cater for everybody. So listen, I'm going to stop. I'm stopping. That's it, right? God bless every single one of you. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow when I do my video tomorrow morning. All my love. God bless. Good night. Right.